Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show, and welcome to another episode of Fountain Pen Calligraphy 103. Alright, how is everyone doing today? Are you having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day. Today we're going to be practicing how to do perhaps some gifting ideas over the holidays. So, when you're using your books, we can't really do that. So, I didn't say this in the beginning, but you might want to do some calligraphy on some other types of things. For example, you have an ink splotch, just for example. So, what you can do is get yourself a little ruler, and today is Earth Day, so we're going to say Happy Earth Day, and we want these to be about the right amount of space apart. This is 4 inches tall, so we're going to say about 1.5, 1.25 maybe even. Yeah, 1.25. And make it just a little pencil line. Okay, another 1.25 inches. And then the last one will be much larger. So, Alexa, stop. We're going to write the word happy. So, we're going to do the same thing that we do when we write. We're sitting at our desk, comfortable. We're going to turn our page so that the downstroke comes at your shoulder. Okay, and remember that this is kind of your angle, so if you need to, you can kind of use that, just an invisible line with your hand. You know, you can make kind of an imaginary line, maybe with some shadow going on. But what you can do is you could just use the natural angle, and because it's modern calligraphy, no one's gonna know if you messed up or not. So, we're gonna use all of the tricks that we've been learning this whole time in order to make this really nice card. So, do we want it? The other thing is composition. We talked about composition in my last class. How you want things to look. Do you want it to say Happy Earth Day, or Happy Earth Day, or Happy Earth Day, or Happy Earth Day? Where do you want the things to go? So my advice to you is maybe to kind of sketch it on a piece of paper that's semi-translucent. This is Traveler's super lightweight paper. You can kind of get an idea of like where this will be. Write it down on the page, and you might want to leave a border around just to kind of give you an idea of where you want your letters to go. Another way you could do it is you could use some post-it notes. You could write happy. happy Earth Happy Earth Day. Like, you can make this as simple or fancy as you want. Kind of give yourself an idea of where you want these. So, you know, move them around. Play with maybe some size. Maybe have a tiny happy, a large Earth, and a small day, or you could even write it side by side. Happy Earth Day, just like that. So, play with your composition, play with the sizing of your words, try and get, you know, an idea of how you want it to look, and then after you've figured out that that's the look that you want to go for, then write it out. I'm going to do mine in the middle, and I'm going to do like a small happy, make some designs in here. Maybe a little Earth over here. I don't know. But, or maybe you could stick some stickers on it. You could stick some stickers on it. You can do it up however you want. And then after you're done putting your words and your stickers and you're making the front of it all nice, you can turn it around and you can send it to somebody. So, let's talk a little bit about sending this to somebody. First, make sure that your ink is dry. Or maybe put a paper towel down or some sort of implement so that way you don't mess it up. Okay. When you're doing an address, I always try and give myself the most amount of space possible. So if I'm writing people in the US, there's 4 lines. There's the name, the name line, the street number, street name, and Avenue Street. There is the the city, state, and zip code, or you can do the city, state, and then the zip code. So this is a 4-inch line, and you always want to save about an inch at the top and about 2.5 inches, maybe even 3 inches if you have a long address at the top. So at least an inch by 2 or 3 inches at the top. So you want to just kind of keep in mind that that space is going to be used for your return address. So I'm just going to stick that there so that I know. And also you want to make a note of how big the stamp is. Most stamps in the United States are about an inch. So about an inch by an inch. So I'm going to make sure and not right there. So I'm going to go from the bottom. I'm going to go up about a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to make just kind of like a light line, because that you don't want to go any farther lower than that. And then from there you're going to go up about a 1/2 inch. And then from there up about a 1/2 inch. And then up a 1/2 inch. And you should have about 3 spaces. And the name goes up here. So we're using all of the techniques that we have. This is going to go to me, so I'm going to write my name. And when you're writing your name, you have to kind of imagine how it would look, how much space you want to give to your first name and your last name of the person that you're sending it to. So you want to kind of imagine, or if you have like some transparent paper, you could try, or you can do it in pencil first. So I'm going to write, because I have such a long name, I'm going to make my letters really skinny. Now you see I went too far over one way. So this is where writing it down and using a piece of paper really helps. Or using a pencil. Because if I would have done this in pen, I wouldn't be able to move it around. But since I have an eraser handy, I can just erase it. And move it around. So I want to start my M, so I know that this is going to be a small, a big, and then a big. So I want to start my M right about here. And my D, I know I want to start about there. Okay, see, I did it again. I moved my name a little too far to the one way. So play around with it and see where it fits in perfectly, so that way that you can, if you have a transparent piece of paper, this is where it would come in handy. And some people, if you feel confident in writing, you know, a certain size, then you will know that a certain, if you've done it for quite a long time, you'll figure out that this is how big this is going to be. So, or you can even make it, you can even write it down on some post-it notes and move it about so that way that you have an idea. So, that looks about right. And then I do my address on the second line down, because you don't want to be writing in this space. So go. Or you can write in this space, but you have to be careful of the loops. Make sure that your loops aren't too far down. If your loops are too far down, try not to write through them. Only make them go down a little bit of a space. Okay. I don't always write my addresses with 4 lines. Mostly I try and write them with 3 lines. But if you're having trouble, 4 lines is sometimes a really good bet to do. Anyway, I know that this was a lot of gobbledygook, and when you're addressing your letter back, you want to make sure and use about that much space. And that's about how your letter should look. And then you should have your stamp. If you are sending it in another time zone or another country, you'd put that at the very bottom, and then somewhere on this you would put, preferably at the top, you would put airmail. Okay, along with your stamp. We're just gonna pretend that this is a US stamp. Okay. And that is how that should look. And then if you're addressing someone outside of the United States, you'd put that down here. In all capitals. Okie dokie. Well, I hope that helps. I'd like to see your work if you're participating on Instagram at @MarylynJarling. Let me know if this was helpful to you. That is all for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all, so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. And I will be back very soon with another video. So take care until then. Okay, love you, bye.